if you're looking to improve your video communication skills, whether it be for recorded or live sessions such as a Zoom and Google Meet or Facebook Messenger, whatever you use, then I'll share with you 10 techniques that have served me through the years that have helped me to improve these skills myself. Let's get right into it. First thing is eye contact. So what's the problem here? The problem is video is not face-to-face, meaning you literally can't see the other person's eyes. And what substitutes for that is the camera lens right there. So sometimes the problem is eye contact gets too intense, and I'll illustrate it by giving you this example. So when you shake somebody's hand, what do? You extend your right hand, right? And then they extend their right hand. That's the typical scenario. What you don't do is extend both hands and then shake both hands like that. That's the principle. So use you apply it to your eyes, and you use your right eye to look at another person's right eye, and you connect like that. Now you be the judge. It makes it easier to maintain eye contact when you're focusing your right eye on the other person's right eye and just talking to them like this. Now, I'm doing this technique right now. You be the judge. Does it look natural or weird or forced or something like that? For me, when I learned this technique, sales training long time ago, it made it so much easier for me to maintain eye contact for a very long time and really absorb what's being said by the other person, and also to really share my point if I really want to drive a point home. So it's like basically making a handshake but using your eyes, and then after about 7-10 seconds you break eye contact, like just to reduce the intensity, and then kind of gather your thoughts and come back again. This is something that you can apply when in video as well. So that's the first one, how to maintain eye contact. Use your right eye to look directly at the lens. Pretend that the lens is the right eye of the person you're talking to, and this makes it look more natural. So I'll share with you a very subtle difference, guys. Okay, I'm gonna look at the monitor on top of the camera. See, you can see my eyes. It's not looking at the lens right now. Now I'm looking at the lens. Do you notice the difference? If you do, then it helps. It just helps to enhance the communication that's happening through video. So that's point number 1, eye contact. Number 2 is to shut your mouth. Okay, what does this do? Obviously, you want to communicate better, you want to talk better, but communication is not all that. There are 2 things that are going to happen here when you shut your mouth. It eliminates the possibility of because when you keep doing those and sounds, it's an unconscious thing, and it usually happens when you keep your mouth open for too long. You don't close your mouth when talking or after a sentence. See, so there's no opportunity for and because my mouth is closed, and I can recover. Okay, so that's one technique that you can use. Shut your mouth, and then it actually allows you to listen better and kind of slowly improve the weight or the magnitude of your words, because you start to train people around you who are listening to you that no word is wasted. Every time you say something, it's thought out, it's meaningful, and it's useful communication. There are no like, yeah. All those verbal crutches can be eliminated by simply closing your mouth after every sentence or every thought that you want to express. So like this. Okay? So that's point number 2, shut your mouth. Point number 3 is to use your hands. Okay, not to the extent that you're too handsy and everything has to be expressed with your hands, but just allow yourself to use your hands from time to time to express the thoughts that are running through your mind. Why this is so viscerally effective is because our right hand is connected to the left brain, and every time I'm moving my right hand, it kind of communicates to the person in front of me that my brain is moving as I'm doing this. And oh, there's the I need to put into practice what I just shared. So, you there it is again. I'm sorry, guys. See, this is the thing that you need to learn about communication is it's something that you learn and practice through time, and you have to keep having feedback mechanisms to teach you and to keep sharpening your skill. I am just as much of a learner as you are in this video, but these are the techniques that I really want to share with you. So see, that's how I recover if I make a mistake. Like, you have to learn the skill as well just to keep going and keep it natural. Anyway, what I was saying earlier was that it was the hands, and you're tapping into those mirror neurons that make you a bit more relatable when it comes to video. So as you can see, if I don't use my hands, well, it just shows you that, or it eventually becomes a bit too stale and boring. I think, look, with the video, but subtle is like, okay, I'm using my hands, expressing my ideas sometimes, and then it just adds another dimension that you can connect with somebody, since video is quite limited in terms of the ability to connect with another person in terms of your body language. So using your hands is another thing to help your communication via video. All right. So the first 3 points I've expressed don't necessarily help you to talk better. This point will. Number 4 is to read books aloud and in front of the mirror. So sometimes the problem is you can't find the right words, or you can't say them correctly. You just need more practice in talking. So not just any books, by the way, but high quality books that you really like, because one thing that it does is, or one thing that books are, is that they are highly thought out and they are also edited. So the thoughts that you can read, or the sentences in the book, are already very polished and very pointed. So if you train yourself to recognize those patterns, and you train your brain and your mouth to express those words by reading them aloud, by just using the template, using the pattern, you're training yourself to actually speak better. So that's another thing that you can do. That's another technique that I've been practicing, like just looking for high quality books that I like, and I read them aloud, sometimes one sentence, one paragraph, up to like a total, like one chapter. And I don't stop there. The next thing that I do is I also record. I've recorded myself before speaking. It just gave me the feedback that I wanted to get. One entire chapter of a book that I really like, and then I listened to the voice recording, and that just gave me the feedback that I needed at that time to improve better. Okay, so that's one thing that, or that's point number 4 on how you can improve. Number 5 is use your ears for feedback, because communication is it's a two-way thing. It can't be just you talking and not really getting the feedback. How does that happen with video? Well, the same way that I expressed earlier. It's more of like looking at the person's eyes, and looking at, or shutting your mouth, listening to what they have to say. And if it's a recorded video, reading the comments and getting the feedback and the reactions and all of that. And that's how you kind of learn. Are you communicating well? Is the message correct? Are people connecting with what you're saying? These are things that we have to develop and evolve if you are working online to fully, or to some capacity, as in part-time, or if you're exploring this, then this is a skill that is a must for you. If you're going to develop your career at whatever level, from beginner, from your entry, from your interview, to as you grow, as your leadership develops, upper management, CEO level, you're always going to communicate. you are going to need to interact with people. So it's definitely a skill that is worth building and developing through time. And if you agree with me, then keep listening because I have 5 more points. Number 6 is creating a basic structure. So this just helps me to not lose my train of thought. So for example, in this video, what I've done is for each point, I have a problem and a solution. Problem, solution. Point number 1, problem, solution. So it helps my brain to move because I have a basic structure already. I know that I need to share a problem. For example, in this point, like the problem is I get lost on what to say. Why? Because I don't know the structure. Here are a few structures that I've created through time. Feel free to take them and use them as your own as well. See if it works for you. For example, when I create a YouTube video, the structure is the 3 I's. Intro, powerful intro. 2 is info, the information that I'm going to share, which are these 10 points. And then lastly, number 3 is the invite. So I know that every time I create a YouTube video, it's going to be intro, info, and invite. It just allows me to create a future with the viewer. Or if I'm going to talk to a client, for example, what's the next step? I'm going to invite to the next step. I'm going to lead the conversation and invite to the next step. What action are we going to take? So that's the invitation there. Another structure is past, present, future, or focus on the present and then the future. That's another structure that I use. Another one is acknowledging what the person has said and then repeating what they say. So for example, what I heard you say was this and that, and from what I understand, this is what you're trying to say. Is that correct? Confirming if your understanding is correct, and then until something is agreed on. So I'm just sharing with you the basic structures that I use to help guide my communication and make it easier for me to express ideas and to listen to people. All right, number 7 is to send yourself voice messages or send voice messages to other people. Sometimes the problem is we can't practice quickly, but actually our cell phones, mobile devices, these are feedback mechanisms or feedback tools that we can use anytime, quickly during the day. Like just open up Facebook Messenger and send yourself a voice message. Instant feedback. It tells you what kind of communication level you're in. And then if you want to send a quick voice message to somebody, it just makes your time more efficient. Them also, their interaction, they don't need to read and type. It's easier for them to just hear what you have to say. If you don't like the message, you can just delete it before sending it and then re-record. It's a great tool that I use now too, to help me to communicate better. So send voice messages to yourself to improve. Send voice messages it's kind of connected to that earlier point where I said, you need to record, but it's just a bit different in the sense that the other one was reading aloud from a book. This one is thinking on the fly. So it's slightly different tool. I think it counts for another point. All right. Point number 8, or down to our last 3 points. Point number 8 is to watch English shows. So for your entertainment, it's not just solely focused on English. Whatever language that you're trying to learn, the script writing or shows, movies, whatever, this will teach you. And I used to do this in college. I used to watch shows, whatever sitcoms and comedies. I like to watch those shows, and I picked up how I spoke. I picked up on how they spoke, and I applied that to my daily communication. So I used to be mocked na they would say, Englishero man kay ka, oy, you speak a lot of English or something like that. I took it as feedback. Sometimes, because it's my most natural way of communicating, it's the easiest way for me to communicate ideas quickly and efficiently, so I use English. But if in the situation it's inappropriate, for example, I'm surrounded by Tagalog or Bisaya speakers who feel uncomfortable when I speak too much English, then of course I would adjust and I would adapt, make it more comfortable, make it feel more comfortable for them. I don't force it. I just speak in Tagalog or Bisaya in those situations, in that kind of specific context. So yeah, anyway, like I watch series, YouTube videos, and this helps me to kind of hear how other people are communicating in the language that I'm trying to learn, which is, in this case, is English. Since that's kind of like the biggest medium right now in terms of video, at least for us, for in the Filipino context. In other countries, it's either the biggest languages are either Spanish or Mandarin Chinese. So those are other languages that are you might want to explore, and of course other languages, whatever you need to specialize on. The point is you need to expose yourself to media or mediums that teach you how these languages are spoken. Number 9 is similar to the previous point, but it's just another tool that you can use. The point is to think in English or think in the language that you're trying to speak. If you think in English, you can easily speak in English. So this was a point that my late grandmother taught me, because she was the one who trained me in terms of diction and how to speak, pronunciation, these things. She would train me through summer. It's a great gift to leave for your grandchildren or your children. Teach them how to speak well. It's nice. I would consider it a privilege on me. I was trained early on, but as much as it is a privilege and a gift, it also needs to be developed. Everybody can speak. Everybody can train. The brain is there's a plasticity to the brain that can learn any skill as long as you're willing to take the attentive practice to learn these skills and to develop them. You can do it. So that's point number 9. Point number 10, finally, is humility. The way to improve in your communication through video is to first of all understand that you are not a perfect being. You are fallible, but you are also a being that has a capability to develop skills, to learn skills, whatever skills you deem necessary. And if obviously there is value to developing your ability to communicate to an extent, as much as you need to develop it through the seasons in life that you're in. But obviously communication is necessary and is vital. If you can well, here's a couple of quotes that I want to share with you. But first of all, obviously, if you are not willing to learn, then you can't improve. But if you are humble, if you humble yourself down, say, okay, I'm not this either. I'm here. I'm this. I'm able to learn. So if you're willing to learn, if you're here, obviously, if you're watching this video, you are willing to learn, right? But that's just a reminder. Sometimes I get arrogant. I think I'm beyond correction, or there are moments that I think I'm beyond correction. I have to remind myself. So that's been a tool for me to improve, really. Here, the life you dream of is on the other side of a series of difficult conversations. And humility is a superpower when it comes to difficult conversations. One phrase that you can practice is, correct me if I'm wrong. You don't want to overuse it, but especially when trying to articulate difficult ideas or having a difficult conversation with someone, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing is this is what you're saying, and is that correct? Is my understanding correct? And if they say yes, your understanding is correct, then you can respond. If they say no, that's not what I'm trying to say, then listen again, right? It will save you a lot of trouble. Take it from me, guys. Well, I'm not saying that. I had enough life experience already to tell me that that's the right way to handle difficult topics and conversations with, especially with people that kind of emotionally charged. It's difficult, situation difficult. So sharing it with you guys. Yeah, requires bravery, humility, and then obviously reconciliation. That's a deeper level of communication, but sometimes it might be required to be done on video, like on a live Zoom call maybe, or something like that. No, so that's something that we all can use, I think. Just that being human, being fallible necessitates that we learn to apologize and reconcile as well in the moments that require it. Alright, so final reminder, the purpose of communication is to understand, agree, and work together towards a mutually beneficial, prosperous future, diba? So if that's the goal of communication, then it's worth developing further and learning more. Guys, if you got a lot of a lot of value from this video, then do me a favor, like, comment, share it to somebody you think might benefit from it. Subscribe to the channel if you think it's worth journeying together, and I would gladly welcome you and get some feedback from you so we can continue developing the conversation. Final bonus that I want to share with you is what equipment am I using. So I'll take a photo of these, I'll flash it on the screen, but it's a Sony camera A6400, yeah, and then what makes the camera or the shot better is the lens. It's a Sigma, I think it's a 16 or 18 millimeter lens, the wide lens, and then it allows this kind of focus blur effect. I have light here, I have lights in the back, I'm using a Rode mic. These are little things that I also can help in the confidence to communicate in via video. I mean, the ideas that can still be communicated, but if the camera, the video, the shot being produced is kind of low quality, poor quality, then that kind of diminishes confidence, in my opinion, or I think that's how I experience it. Like when I was using my phone before to film content, and now when I'm using this camera, I feel much more empowered to just share, because I know that the shot is gonna be good to, above average quality. So that's another thing that I would like you to encourage. If you want to improve in your video communication, then that's another thing, but it's not basic. It's like it's the next tier of improving your video communication skills. So if you want to develop further in that, then look into it. But there you go, guys, like my top 10 secret things that I do to help you improve, to talk better on video, online, in your online communications. Bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.